Hello, my name is Jonathan Bradshaw. I'm here today with Jessica Puente Bradshaw. She is a candidate for the City of Brownsville City Commission. She's running for the City Commissioner at Large A position in the May 4th election. Today's video is really to spend a little bit of time learning a little bit about Jessica, but really actually spending as much time as we can talking about the city organizational structure and why that's important for citizens to potentially know. So Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, again, my name is Jessica Puente Bradshaw. I was born in Matamoros, raised in Brownsville. I've lived in Brownsville for a long time now, and I live here with my husband and my two kids, a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old. And I'm running for City Commission because I love this city and I want to do my part in elevating Brownsville and making this city the best city that it can be. And I'm getting help with my husband as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. So what we have here on the screen is a diagram of the city organizational structure. It's not maybe what you might see in some cases where it gets into specific departments, but what it does show is really the entities like corporations. It also has the different types of funds where if you think about funds, money, where certain aspects of money are potentially taken into account. So this video is really to spend a few minutes to talk about things at a very high level. Right now you're looking at things at a 50,000 foot level. And really Jessica's going to take some time to kind of orient everybody as it relates to kind of some major areas within this entity structure. So Jessica, could you maybe take us a little bit through this top section here where we have the top part?
Yeah, so if you look at this chart, you see that at the very top, the green box is the City of Brownsville citizens and residents. And that's basically all of us. It is every Brownsville person that lives here, and it is representative of their goals, dreams, aspirations, and desires for the city as a whole. Because a city is made up of its residents, and the residents are the city. So we're at the very top. Right below that box is the Brownsville City Commission. Why are they right below the city? Because they work for us. Brownsville City Commission is made up of the mayor, 2 at-large commissioners, and 4 district commissioners. In this election coming up, we're going to vote for mayor. We're going to vote for the at-large A. In this case, everyone in the city of Brownsville can vote for those 2, for the mayor and the at-large A. And then some people are actually going to get a chance to vote for the district commissioners, District 1 or District 2. Currently holding those seats are Rick Longoria in the southmost area and Jessica Tetro in District 2. So they're also going to be running. And everyone else will just have to wait another 2 years before they vote for those.
That's right. Okay, so sounds good. Thank you very much. I'm going to zoom back out just real quickly so we can reorient ourselves as to the organization. We're going to take a journey over here briefly over to this section. I want to make sure that we spend a little bit of time talking about the economic development corporations. What does that mean? What should citizens know at a high level about that?
Okay, well, the economic development corporations are just as the name implies. They are corporations or entities that function with a board, and their job is to develop economy within the city. There is, as we've all heard, a lot of us have heard GBIC, or the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation, and they function with a board as well. They are appointed. And then the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, which is BCIC, which is a type B. Now, the difference in type A and type B, we can get more later on in another video, but at a very high level, this is here to improve the economy, jobs, job opportunities for individuals. BCIC, a lot of it is beautification and improvement within the city that would drive economy here.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, moving along then, let's zoom back out and then we'll go over here to the other section where we have a component unit and a subunit to that component unit. What's this?
Well, that's the one we also lovingly refer to as PUB. When it's too hot, we complain about our rates. When it's too cold, we complain about our rates, right? And so the Brownsville Public Utilities Board is also another entity within the city. The City Commission, as you can see, is still above it, just like it was with GBIC and BCIC. And they work on getting our electricity to us. One of the things we'll talk about in a future video is Tenaska and what's happening with that.
Okay. Anything else you want to mention about the utilities or the component units?
I think we'll save it for another video, but at least we know that this exists and this is how it's structured.
All right, perfect. So let's go down here into this particular yellow square or rectangle. I think it's, oops, that's probably quite a bit too large. So let's just. Oh darn it!
Yeah, that's okay.
This. So let's just kind of look at how that's coming down off of the city commission into this kind of yellow rectangle called general fund. What exactly does that mean, or what is that?
Okay. Yeah. Hold on.
Oh,
that's all right. So basically, here we are at the very top. Brownsville City Commission we elect, and then right below the Brownsville City Commission is what we call the general fund. And some of you guys have seen the chart, some of you guys have not. You'll get a chance to see it today. General fund, a lot of people would look at it like it's the bank account.
Okay.
And it's bank account is broken up into it's a budget.
Okay. So I'm going to put it up here just so it's available to be seen. All right.
All right. Hopefully it'll stay up.
I'll hold it.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a general fund, and we'll do a whole video on this. It's really fun to look at, and it's broken down in pieces. There's a component to the general fund that we don't see, which is it's with the economic development corporations. They kind of have their own budget, as well as PUB. It's another corporation or entity that has its own budget, and there's these budgets somewhere else out here. But this is the one that most of us are very familiar with. It includes public safety, that's fire, EMT, all of that, and police officers. General government is the money that we spend on running the government. Culture and recreation, public works, operating transfers, we'll talk about that later, and then public health, sanitation, and of course economic development, which is a little bit in there.
Okay. So basically the things that are mainly the spending that's used to run the city.
Yes.
Right? So good. And that budget is about $100 million if you're looking just at the general fund. So it's quite a bit of money. Okay, so zooming back out real quick, let's go over here real quickly to this orange and pink area. I'm just going to go ahead and zoom on all of it, and we'll talk a little bit about these.
All right, so special revenue funds, and we'll focus on that little gray area right there.
Zoom a teeny bit out so it's more easy to see.
Yeah, the gray box right here. This is money, which is, it's different than this bank account, but this is money that comes in. And this convention and tourism fund is money when we have travelers come in and stay at our hotels, we get money from that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then community development grant funds has to do with HUD. A lot of us are familiar with HUD, which is the Housing and Urban Development. So all that money is federal government money, and it allows us to be able to provide for people that need housing and that sort of thing. And then the landfill tipping fee increase fund, that's something that when we pay to have our garbage removed, but there's also a little bit of money that comes in extra when we go in and make those special trips. And so that's extra or special revenue fund. So it's basically money that we're getting that's just it's like a little bit like sprinkles on the cake. It's like extra money.
Yeah, or opportunity for more city revenue.
Right, and we'll get more into that, but you can see right here that the Convention and Tourism Fund, whenever we get money from, tax money from people who stay at our hotels, that money is specifically allocated for things that expand our tourism, and they're right here: Camille Lane Playhouse, the Goddess Porter Zoo, etc.
Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and I'll just scroll over just a little bit to the right where we have this debt service funds. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that's the money that we are spending on debt, and we're going to do a whole video on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that at that for now.
Yeah.
But basically, this is where when the city has more expensive or long-term projects, in theory, that's where that money is coming from to be able to supply or produce those things. Actually, it's not letting me scroll.
Yeah, just scroll from right here. That's it.
Okay, so we have just a little bit of time left here. Can we maybe take a second and talk about enterprise funds?
Enterprise funds is money that comes in from these enterprises or businesses that the city manages. The airport is a business, basically. It brings us money. The Veterans Bridge Fund, all those crossings, they make the city money. The Motor Vehicle Parking System Fund, they make us money. Brownsville Golf Center, for those of you who are not familiar, makes us money. And the bus system makes us money. Okay.
So any last thoughts of a takeaway or anything like that, or anything that you want the citizens to hear?
There are a lot of places where, I'm thinking something's going to happen there. There are a lot of places where money goes and money flows, and I think it's important as a citizen to kind of know what the trickle down or at least the flow of it is.
Okay, excellent. So this is our first video. Hopefully you found it informative. We'll get much more detail in the near future. Thank you.
Goodbye.